Okay, we should be good. Hey, I'm Lori. Welcome to my apartment. I'm here with Rachel.
Hi, I'm Rachel.
So you quit nicotine. Like, what was your last? What were you hooked on at the end?
The pouches.
The pouches. Okay.
Yeah, because I smoked
Uh huh.
and since forever ago. And then when I got out of jail and I was in a halfway house,
Uh huh.
I couldn't stand the taste of it. I was like, I can't. These cigarettes are disgusting. But I was still wanted nicotine, so
I remember you smoking.
I did
Yeah.
smoke a little bit. But I hated it. I was like, why did I ever even like these? You know
Yeah.
what I mean? But I done it anyways because that's what I do. And finally, I moved to vaping, and I was able to, like, it took me a while to get to that point where I could just vape. And then I was like, you know what? This vaping is not for me. And
It's hard. If
hurts.
it does, I did it for 3 weeks. No cigarettes.
Yeah.
Just on vapes, and then
I felt like I had water on my lungs.
I would just be so tired
Yes.
all the time.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, the vaping is 100 times worse. And so I'm like, okay, this is not going to work. So I started doing those pouches.
Mm-hmm.
And, because, you know, like my rational thinking on it was like, well, you can have them anywhere.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So
But didn't you want nicotine all the time?
All the
That's
time.
thing. Yeah.
So I would put one in,
Yeah.
keep it in for anywhere from 20 minutes to an hour, and then when I would take it out, immediately put another one in.
Yeah.
And for a long time, I was doing this, and it's probably been 2 years.
2 years of just the pouches?
Yeah,
Okay.
2, maybe 2.5-ish,
Mm-hmm.
I think. Yes, about 2.5 years of just the pouches. And listen, it was tearing my lips up. I was getting raw spots on my lip.
Dude, I love the cinnamon and it burns.
Oh
but
my God.
I almost like it though. I don't know.
That's because we're glutton for
Yeah,
pain.
yeah.
Yes, I know.
Pretty much.
So I would get these like raw spots on my lip. When I would do them, sometimes like I could just like feel it burning down
Yeah.
my throat. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? I'm like, well,
I do them and they make me nauseous.
oh no. Okay.
But I still do them. And then I'm like, oh, I don't feel good.
Yeah.
But then I keep doing them.
And I've got the hiccups on top of it, and like I'm on the phone with somebody, and they're like, "Have you been drinking?" I'm like, "No, it's these pouches," you know. But I keep doing it because I'm addicted to the nicotine, and I don't want to go back to smoking because I feel like I've made a progress from smoking to pouches. You know what I'm saying? But like I know that I'm completely strung out on this nicotine, and I've been over it for a while, like over it, but was fully addicted to it. The mental obsession, all the things.
Well, I have an oral addiction too. It's not just nicotine.
Yeah.
An oral, because that's why I wear lipstick a lot. Because if I don't,
Yeah.
I'm gonna be biting and biting and licking it's
Yeah.
just weird.
Yeah.
But I'm addicted to the cigarette too, the actual cigarette. So like I have the vape here, smoke it, it's good, but it's not like I miss the actual cigarette.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know that I struggle with that, but I know that I struggle with like the habit, the whole ritual of nicotine,
Mm-hmm.
getting it into my body, whatever it may be. If
Yeah.
it's cigarettes at the time, like
Uh-huh.
it's the whole ritual. If it's the vaping, it's the whole ritual. And pouches, it's the whole ritual. And so I don't know. It's been about 2 months, maybe. No, the beginning of November.
Okay.
So a little over a month since I've had nicotine, and I don't know, friend. I've been sitting with it for a long time, like, and I would even pray about it. I'm like, God, please, I need you to make me stop doing these. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm getting these these sore spots in my mouth, and it's like causing me to have this extreme like heartburn / indigestion, burning down my esophagus. I'm like, this is not good. And I just decided at the beginning of November, I was like, okay, I'm done. When this box is empty, I'm done. Oh my God. It was painful.
See, I turned into a royal bitch.
So did I.
No, like real bad,
Yes.
like yelling. And that was I was still vaping, but I wasn't the same nicotine level I was at.
No.
Yeah. But I still had nicotine.
It was rough.
Yeah.
It was so rough. Oh my God. It was so rough that I was to the point where I was like, I'm kicking Dawson out. He's not allowed to live.
Dawson's her son.
Yeah, it was so bad. I was like, he's got to go. Nobody's allowed here. Johnny's got to come back from deer camp. Oh, like, it was so bad. I was like, oh my God. I was struggling. And I almost caved a few times, but like, I just kept telling myself, no, this is something you've wanted to do for a long time, you know? And so we're here, and now, like, I don't have the mental obsession now. And I don't get the thoughts of like, oh, nicotine would be nice. Like, I don't have that now. But it was rough at first.
Yeah. Well, a long time ago, I quit smoking. Now, I used the patch.
Yeah.
And when they were good. Like, this other stuff, it's not the same. Like, when they first came out, they were good. This was a long time ago.
Yeah.
And, I mean, I was a bitch even though I put that on.
Yeah.
But I was able to quit, and I quit for like 10 years.
Yeah. That's insanity.
But But yes, I'm insane. You did not know that?
Yes, I did know that.
Okay.
Yeah, I knew.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, no, I got depressed.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, fuck it.
Yeah, might as well just.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Because I don't care.
Yeah.
Whatever. And I started smoking again.
And then here we are, poisoning ourselves.
And I haven't stopped, and that was what? Yeah, it was a long time ago.
Yeah, we won't even say how long
Yeah.
ago.
Over a decade ago.
Yeah. So I don't know. I think it really just came down to the pain got great enough for me.
Mm-hmm.
Because, well, and I've been having problems like ulcers and stuff like that from stress and just whatever. Ever since that wreck I had actually back in May when I totaled my Acura.
Uh-huh.
Ever since then, and I inhaled that airbag smoke.
Oh, yeah.
I've had ulcers and I've had problems with like my digestion worse than I already did. So like the pouches were playing a part into it.
Well, it feels like all of a sudden all of it comes out at once, and then it just burns down to your stomach. Yes, I know what you mean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you got that going on. You know, like eating, and it was like eating my gums down here in the front. And like I can tell already just in a month that like down here looks better and everything. Like the gums look pinker instead of red. Yeah. It doesn't hurt to touch right here like it was.
Mm-hmm.
Like I can really already tell the difference just in a month.
Well, it has to be the same place. I can't go up here. I can't go over here.
Me too.
No, it's going to be
Mine
the
was
exact.
right here.
Yeah.
Same kind, same spot.
Yeah.
Couldn't change it. Nothing.
Well, I can change the kind, like, because they keep running out of what so I've been doing fewer. I tried to do those thicker 6 milligram ones, but they kind of gagged me because it's like, just, I don't know.
Yeah, I only liked the on ones because they were just
tiny.
Yeah, and they did. I know them other kind like the roll.
Yeah.
It's like having a chaw in or something. I know.
Well, it was fine whenever I was not smoking, but doing that and I was smoking, vaping, and that's where I got to. And using the pouches. Okay.
I did that for a short minute when I was trying to.
Yeah, I'm actually trying to quit vaping because this is the worst, and then I think I can manage the other. I mean, this is the worst for me as far as lungs.
I swear, it felt like I had water on my lungs all the time whenever I vaped.
It just, I don't know. It feels like if I go a day and vape a lot, now this is a real light one, but if I go a day and I vape a lot, then I just feel like shit. Just like shit. Like, I have no energy whatsoever.
Yeah. It's terrible, isn't it?
But I don't know. Sometimes I don't want to smell like cigarette smoke, and sometimes it's just easier. I can vape.
Convenience.
Yeah.
I know. That was what got me with the pouches. I could have them anywhere.
Anywhere, yeah.
Work.
I would sleep with them in.
Oh my God. And then they feel all funny in your mouth, and you wake up and you're like, oh my God, this is disgusting. Yes.
It's disgusting when you take them out too.
I know.
Yeah. It's like, oh gosh.
Especially when you
Ew.
fall asleep with them, because then they're like, it's just bad.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. That's super. Like I'm kind of excited about that. You know what I mean? Because it's been a struggle.
Well, I mean, I would have to go to candy or something. I would have to substitute.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I don't do gum because I did gum all the time when I was drinking. And it's just associated with drinking. So, like, people I know have had bad breath and they've offered me gum, and I'm like, no. I'm just going to have bad breath. I'm sorry. Yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes we just be having the old dragon breath.
Yeah.
You know, like,
yeah.
I can't do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I don't know. So, I quit nicotine, which, like, that's real cool. I left working in treatment.
Are you happy about that?
I am.
I've had random thoughts about working in treatment.
I think that everybody that is in recovery should experience it for a certain amount of time. Now, that amount of time is solely based on that person. Simply,
but you're an empath, and I'm an empath, and I think it would make me so sick.
It does.
I mean, really, really.
Yes.
I think it would make me mentally unhealthy. I would take people's stuff home, not even mean to, not even consciously know that I'm doing it. And
yeah. Working in treatment is not a job that you can leave at the door when you clock out. Mm-hmm. You just can't. No matter what role you're in doing it. And another thing that so what I found out about myself is working in treatment facilities, that is not for Rachel.
Okay. But you did harm reduction, right?
And I loved it.
Okay.
Loved it. But that's when Ryken got diagnosed with autism, and I had to leave that to go to a more fitting schedule. And so treatment facilities are not for me. But even potentially treatment, period, whatever, whether it be harm reduction or treatment or outreach or whatnot, I had to step out of it for a little while because it was wearing me down. I couldn't even remember my own appointments. Like, I couldn't even remember I couldn't remember nothing. Anything at all that had anything to do with outside of my job.
So you were stuck in your job when you weren't at your job?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And stressed out. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Overwhelmed, overstimulated, stressed out, drained, emotionally drained every day, all day long. Especially this last job because I was a peer support for crisis stabilization unit.
I don't even know what that is.
Yeah, so it's 23 hours and 59 minutes. You come to me at this facility, and I have you for this amount of time. And in that amount of time,
you got to convince somebody?
I have to, convince them. Whatever their need is. If they want treatment, like, cool, we're going to figure it out. But then, like, you probably don't have insurance, so then we got to figure out, like, where can we get you in without insurance? Can we get you presumptive insurance? Mm-hmm. X, Y, and Z, right? Like, you're from Kentucky and you want to do it over here, and it's like, I can't.
You got to figure everything out.
In less than 24 hours. And mind you, less than that, because I'm only with 10-hour shifts every day. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? 4 days a week. So it's like, I don't even have you the whole 24 hours.
So you're rushed no matter what.
No matter what.
No matter, yeah.
Life change, like, you know what I'm saying? Almost like life or death decisions on these people every day that I worked. Yes. Yes.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah. And I said, you know what?
What if it doesn't work out?
What if it doesn't work out? That was the question every day.
Well, see, I'm very reflective. So even though we're supposed to reflect, I over-reflect.
Yeah, my sponsor calls that morbid reflection.
My sponsor calls it wasting energy foolishly.
Yes.
Yes.
Same thing, different words.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and she said that multiple times. But,
yeah.
But I don't put I'm better than what I was.
Good.
But I would have trouble with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a lot. And sometimes, like, the situations, some of them that would come in, it's like, no matter what I done,
It didn't matter.
I couldn't find them. I couldn't get them somewhere. There was some kind of barrier, and I would break down barriers, and then at the end of the day,
It wouldn't happen.
Yeah, and there's still some kind of barrier, and they're like so willing and so ready, and I just can't get them in. That was the hardest days.
Well, I mean, I remember when I was newly sober. Now, I was a few months, but I couldn't function or anything. So, but even for me to try to, I didn't know where to get help or how to get help, and I couldn't get help immediately.
Yeah.
It was 3 weeks.
Yeah.
You know, yeah.
And so then we would have people come in, you know, like they're homeless, perfectly content where they're at, and what we could do in that 23 hours and 59 minutes was offer them a shower, offer them 3 hot meals, wash their laundry, you know, stuff like that. Give them resources for if they decide, like resource packets. Those were the easier cases.
Yeah.
As terrible as that sounds. But that still even weighs on me, you know what I'm saying? Because, like, I can play the tape out for you.
Yeah, this ends ugly.
Yeah. So it was wearing me out. Like I couldn't even, I was working 4 tens. I was leaving my house at 11 o'clock in the morning, and I was not getting home until 11 o'clock at night. 4 days a week.
Baby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And a 16-year-old.
That has a mind of his own, we'll just say it that way.
Yeah. And this relatively new, well, year-old, very healthy relationship that, like, I can't even put into none of these things because of my job.
Because it's taken everything.
Everything. Depleting me. The only thing that I'm getting from it is decent money and decent PTO. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm getting PTO all the time and paid holidays off. Like, this is the only thing that I'm getting from this job. And I just had to step out of it. And I took it all the way back to the basics. You know, and like in the rooms we talk about, like, keep it simple. And that's what I had to do. And I went back to McDonald's, and I love it.
Are you still there?
Yeah. Well, I went back. I just went back in, like, October 29th or something like that. So I haven't been there for very long, but I love it. I can go to work, do my job, and leave it right there when I clock out.
Well, it's so funny because I saw a friend of ours today, and we were talking, I was talking about my job, which I still have, and that when I lived in the halfway house, I didn't feel like I could complain because of your job. It was way worse than my job. Yeah, at least at the time it was.
Yeah.
So, you know, I'm like, well, it's bad where I work, but you've got it way worse than I've got it. Yeah, I think you did.
Yeah, it was rough there.
Yeah.
It was rough. And, you know, going back, like, I noticed nothing has changed. All the people that are still there, that were there when I worked there the first time, they're exactly the same.
That's weird.
No growth. And some of them have even gotten worse. Like, some of them are even just mean, just mad, bitter. You know what I mean? I'm just like, I told him the other day, I said, working here is like being on an episode of Mean Girls. And it kind of hit him. I seen it on the facial, you know, expression. And I was like, yeah, it is. And that's something that y'all need to take a look at, you know? And so, but I know what that is. And I can see it for exactly what it is. So, I don't have to let that affect me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm far enough along in my journey that I don't have to absorb your negative attitude or your meanness. You know what I'm saying? Which, thank God, like, I finally got there with that, you know?
Well, I'm still working through things. Like I had an incident the other day where I had a coworker that was upset with me, which happens a lot, and that's fine. But I felt like she was trying to injure me.
Mm.
And so it was really hard not to explode. And I did not explode, but I really wanted to explode. Yeah. Real bad. But I didn't. And
Yeah.
I just went and told her firmly, no. Like, explained, like, no, this is not going to happen. This is not okay. Da, da, da. And then I went through the chains, because that's not okay and that has to be reported. So.
Right.
Yeah.
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 Well, and that's the thing too, like when we start setting boundaries and like we're growing and evolving in our person,
Mm-hmm.
people are not going to like that.
No, they want to pick at you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes that, that's what the other day I had to, well, and there's also been this like very high expectation placed on me because I worked there for almost a year and a half previously.
Mm-hmm.
And now coming back, they're like, it's like riding a bicycle. You should just pick up where you left off. No. Only the disease of addiction and alcoholism does that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, we don't just pick up exactly.
It's been years.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's what I said. I'm like, you guys, you're placing way too big of an expectation on me. Like, it's been 2.5 years since I've worked here.
Yeah.
I am not the same person. Number one, I'm older. Number two, I'm about 50 pounds heavier. Number three, I have grown past this. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I have been in job positions where I've been a leader, literally a supervisor, and having to constantly have compassion and empathy and understanding and patience, love, and tolerance to come into some. You all are placing way too high of an expectation on me,
Yeah.
So that was one thing, just having to set that boundary, and I had to tell them. There was a tone gotten like with me, and I'd said, all I can tell you is I'm doing my very best.
Yeah. I mean, I've been in trouble. I'm a newer manager, and I've not been in trouble, but I've been talked to sternly like twice in the last 2 weeks.
So you're in a management position?
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
So, but it was reasonable, but they didn't have all the information though. They could. Do you see?
Yeah.
So.
Like they weren't completely out of line, but it would have done better if they would have had all the information.
Yeah, and said, come straight towards me because because I try not to push anything off that's on me. Like,
well, right. That's taking responsibility for whatever we done or caused.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's the thing. I see a lot of not taking responsibility at my job. And I just have to remind myself, like, hospital gown with the butt cheeks out. You know? Because there is a lot of people there, too, that's, like, real early in recovery and...
they're still defensive?
Very.
I mean, I can still be defensive.
Yeah.
But
for why?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Like, we don't really have to be defensive anymore,
Well, I mean, it's a relief to be able to admit that you're wrong.
Yes.
Not trying to keep up those defenses.
Swear.
Yeah, because you have to have a story running through your head about how somebody else is wrong and blah, blah, blah. And it's miserable.
Yes. Yeah. There's this one particular person that all day long of the shift, that's exactly what they do, is every type of reason and story of why it's somebody else's fault. And I'm just like, honey, nobody is coming after you.
Yeah.
We literally just said, hey, everybody in the kitchen, remember to push the buttons.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it is a relief to be able to say, my bad.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I try to be understanding, like, that person's probably been criticized very heavily.
Yeah.
And that's why they're defensive, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But if the behavior doesn't stop, then it's just like all that goes out the window. And it's like,
Yeah. Well, and too, I have to take a look at the fact that the program of recovery that they're being taught is not like ours.
Mm-hmm.
So I I have to take that into consideration with this person, because it's like, you're not even being taught the same things that I was taught when I got sober. So, but it does get exhausting every once in a while, you know?
Yeah.
Like, just say, I'm wrong. You're right. You ain't got to say you're right.
Well,
you know?
when I was in the halfway house, I mean, I was very grouchy and irritable, and, you know, eventually I realized, oh, yeah, it's probably me. I can't, something can't be wrong every day. It's got to be me, you know?
Right, right.
Finally realized that. But just, like, looking back, just, we had it good.
Yeah.
But I didn't feel like that at the time.
No.
But, like, I was taught solid recovery.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Sustainable recovery.
We were definitely handed that for sure.
Yeah.
Wrap it up, ladies. You know, like, we were handed that. That was definitely a blessing. And I do remember, like,
that was a rough blessing.
It was rough.
Yes.
And it was not until after I graduated and moved out of the house, but it was almost very quickly that I realized it is so much easier to be in a halfway house.
Well, anytime, like, I will get stressed, I'll go back to, okay, I need to do this on the, kind of like what I did. I'll follow the structure, kind of. Not that I go to the house every day, because sometimes I'm empathic and that's harmful for me. So a couple times a week, you know, I'll go. But anything more than that, it's a lot, kind of. You know?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
It is a lot. Yeah. Feeling other people's feelings is...
It's real hard.
I know.
Yeah. Because sometimes I don't want to, and then I'm not compassionate.
Yeah.
But if I leave myself completely open, it's not good.
No, that's dangerous.
I know.
Dangerous, friend.
Yeah.
Yes, that's bad. I had to learn that. Working in treatment forced me to learn that a lot quicker. Of like, I had to, and how I done it at first was I would literally, in my brain, like, when somebody would be coming at me with a really intense emotion, I would push from, like, the center of my stomach. Like,
push out?
Push away from me, because, whoa. And sometimes I would even have to physically hold up. You know what I mean? You're in my bubble. Whatever. Like, just to give that little bit of space. Because sometimes that'll just, like, take a breath away when somebody with really big emotions come at you, you know? So, I'm glad that you finally are getting, that we both are, you know? Yeah. So.
Well, it's a whole, being empathic, it's a whole, you have to follow, like, an empath, I have to follow an empathic, almost a schedule. Like, my self-care is probably larger than some other people's, because it's, if I do pick up something, and then I have to do certain things, and then I have to to kind of clear it out and get back to just me.
Yeah, you know, and that's where I slack is self-care. I just told you about it. I had an ulcer not very long ago from stress. I was just sick 2 days ago with the ulcer.
So what does it mean when you're sick? What is it? What's
oh my
going
gosh.
on?
So for me, for an active ulcer, it is not good. It's going both directions and extreme pain in my stomach. And it just feels like something is like pushing my stomach back up through my throat.
Oh.
It's not okay.
Do you vomit? Yeah.
All the things. Both
ends?
Yep.
Okay.
And it is not okay. And I have to take this certain medication that they give you. Sometimes they'll give you a liquid form and the pill form. And actually, honestly, what happened this time is I had some of the pill form left over from back in May. And so I just took those. That's how I knew first certain that it was the ulcer. Because that medicine helped almost immediately. And that's what it does. So, but Johnny, my boyfriend, he was like, well, babe, because you're stressed out all the time. And I said, Well, because I said, I don't even feel like I'm that stressed out. And
Mhm.
he's like, you stress all the time. And I'm not 100% sure that it's that I'm stressing. I think that I'm carrying a lot of everything around me too. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying?
Yes, I do know what you're
Because
saying.
I don't I stress about finances. Most
do
everybody
too.
does.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like that's common. If you're not stressing about finances, please let me know your secret because you know,
Well, see, I'm good for like part of the month, but then the part,
when all the bills come out of the bank account,
yeah,
yes,
and I'm
I'm-
counting out quarters and that kind of thing.
yes, yes.
But I've budgeted enough to pay my bills. But the thing that happens to me, and I lie to myself.
Oh
And
yes.
but no, this is from childhood, and from what I've heard my parents say. I will tell myself, I don't have any food. I don't have any food. I don't have enough food.
Yes.
I have food.
We have to.
I
We have to cook it.
Yeah, it's just, but I will say that, and then I just realize this isn't true. I'm lying to myself and
Yeah.
making myself miserable.
Buying disgusting fast food. I mean, it
Mhm.
tastes good, but like it's disgusting for our body.
Uh-huh.
And we're dipping into that money. And then
Yeah.
I'll get on this hamster wheel of like, I don't have any money. I don't have any groceries. Like, I don't have any food.
Yeah, but
And
I
don't
do
have
yeah.
any money for groceries.
Mhm.
But yet I'm going and spending.
Yeah.
Insanity.
It is.
I
It
know.
is. But I've heard that all my life.
Yeah.
But I say that to myself too.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not. Maybe it's, and then I'm sitting there and I'm eating something good that I like, and I'm telling myself and making myself miserable. I'm like, what am I doing here? Yeah, I'm making myself upset, and this is like, it's really, I mean, it's not real healthy food. It's more, I guess, sugary than I would want. I would want more balance, but it tastes really good. And I'm not even tasting it. I'm just thinking about how I have no food and I can't wait till payday. But I have food.
I know.
I know, but I'll stress out.
I know.
Something awful. But there's food in there.
I know. You just gotta cook it.
Right.
At least I do. That's all.
Yeah.
I've just got to cook the food. That's it.
Mhm.
It's in there.
Mhm.
It might not be double cheeseburger or the
Yeah.
whatever the
Uh-huh.
Doritos tacos. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like it might not be that, but there's food in there.
Right.
I know. It's insanity at its finest. You know? So
But yeah, I guess I've been, since working with my, a sponsee, that's kind of been coming up for me specifically, the ways that I lie to myself.
yeah.
Like, this is not true. Like, this isn't,
Wow.
yeah, it's
So,
not
like,
true.
do you specifically, like, are you asking this question, or is it just realizations that you're having of ways
It's
you're
real,
lying?
yeah, that I'm lying to myself.
So you're not specifically, like, saying, am I lying to myself, or is
No,
this really
no.
true? Oh, okay.
No, I'd just be like,
Wow.
I just notice what story I'm telling what, and I'm like, this is not even true.
Yeah.
It's just something that I've heard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Your whole life.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure.
I wasn't going hungry when I was little,
No,
but I heard it all the time.
all the time.
Yeah.
I think that's the way, like, corporate America wanted us, or whoever it was, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like, the powers to be. Like, I think that's really what they were pushing us towards. And maybe that's one of those crazy conspiracy theories, but if you really take a look at things, like, an actual portion,
It's very small.
very small,
Yeah.
but we have it in our brains that this massive burger and this large fry and
That's
this,
a portion.
and
yeah.
that's not. That's really like 3.
Yeah.
So who told us that? It had to be somebody, the
Mhm.
powers to be, you know,
Mhm.
whoever they are. And I think that's like where we get that I don't have any food. Like stems from that somehow. You know what I mean?
I mean, there has been times, there's been one time in my life and where I really didn't have any food.
Yeah.
that's one time. I've been
One
alive
time.
for a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I know. It's such a dangerous lie. But I think we all, you see how many people are going, you work in,
Yeah.
you see it.
Yeah.
Every day, all day long. Here we go, through the drive-thru. And I bet you every one of them is telling themselves, I don't have anything at home.
And they have plenty at home.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah.